Now, y'all already know what it is. We're here for a good time, not a long time. So let's jump right into it. If you're new here, my name is Nadia. I'm the owner of Click Pop Studio, and we are a colorfully loud creative agency for bold brands. And today, we're going to be talking about what to say to a client when they ask for raw photos. So let's jump right into it. Okay, y'all, so this is going to be a quick one. I get this question all the time in my DMs, and I felt like I should just go ahead and make a video so it's there. And if anybody else asks, I can just send them to this video so they can watch it and listen. Now, when it comes to your client asking for raw images, there are a few things that you should have set in place, a few systems, a few processes that you should have in place in order to answer this question. So before we get to that, let me kick it back to when I first started. I am in product photography, so there aren't a lot of clients that want the raw images that I produce because 9 times out of 10, I'm doing a lot of Photoshop magic, a lot of maneuvering and compositing, so the raw images just won't work for them. But when I was doing portrait photography back in the day, clients, whether it's influencers, whether it's family and friends, whether it's clients I didn't know for baby showers, weddings, whatever, they would always want the raw images. Now, I never knew why they wanted them because the edited images were the best looking of the bunch. And so I could only deduce that those clients were really just trying to get more work out of me than they actually wanted to pay for. And so that wasn't happening. You really don't want to give away your raw images because the raw images do not showcase your best work. And I don't know about you, but I never wanted my name tagged onto any raw images out there. The only images that my clients would have would be images that I thoroughly refined, edited, color corrected, all of that, so that if and when they did tag me on their social media platforms or referred me to their friends and family, they had a good collection of images to show my work essentially. Now, back in the day, clients would ask me for my raw portrait images so that they could either put their own filter on them or they can get their friends to edit the images for them. Whatever the case was, I made sure to set up some ground rules before we even began working together. And this is something that you should do as well. Now, these processes will touch on a few topics that I talked about in this video up here when I talked about the onboarding process. If you don't have an onboarding process when it comes to bringing on clients and working with them, definitely check out this video above because I go through all the steps that I take whenever I am onboarding a client. So definitely check that out. So the first thing you're going to need is some type of process. Now, mine is fairly simple. I start off with an intake form, which is something that all clients fill out before they can even have a conversation over the phone with me. Once they fill out that form, I can review that, have my assistant review that, and based on their wants and needs, if our values align, meaning their product, their personality, who they are as a business owner, in addition to the services that I offer, if those things align, I then send them to the next stage, which is me sending them an email with a link to my online calendar so that they can schedule a time for me to call them. Once we make it through that stage, I then call them on the day that they selected for me to talk to them and learn more about their business, and then we're off to the races. During that call, I listen to what the client has to say. They elaborate more on what they're looking for based on the intake form that they filled out. And then I discuss my process, what I've done for other clients, and how my services could possibly help them. Now, if that client call is leaning more toward me booking that client, I'll delve deeper into my process, meaning I'll discuss with them the rules. I'll discuss with them how we work with clients, how the whole process works. We go over the amount of images the client needs. We talk a little bit about how we can begin to develop the creative direction in future meetings once we have booked with that client. But most importantly, we let them know the ground rules of what happens after we work together. So if a client books with us for a 10-image package, we work with them to develop 10 different concepts so that when we're on those shoot days, we're capturing those concepts. Now, during those shoot days, our client may give us some feedback and they may want 1 or 2 different looks that were outside of the scope of what we actually discussed. If it's doable, then we will execute those extra shots that the client is looking for. Now, once that shoot is done, we send our client the online gallery that has all of the raw images with our watermark for them to review and to make their selection. Based on the package that our client selects, they select the number that correlates to that package. So if they signed on for a 10-image package, they need to select 10 images or more if they want additional images. If they add on those additional images, then we add those images to their invoice a la carte. They have to select the number of images that they initially paid for. Otherwise, they just gave us free money for no reason. Now, when it comes to raw images, the gallery that we send them is full of our raw images with our watermark. We let our clients know up front. If you see more images that you want, feel free to select those, and then we will edit them and then charge you for it. We do not sell raw images. We do not do that. That's just my policy. Again, because like I said before, I don't like my name, my company attached to unfinished work. If a client is adamant about purchasing those raw images or just wanting those raw images, we still push the idea of having us edit those images, because it wouldn't make any sense for us to produce a gallery of work that we've already edited for you and then give you raw images for you to edit yourself, because the gallery and body of work that you share with your clientele will not be consistent, and we're all about consistency. So these are the ground rules that we set when we are discussing things with our client up front, so that by the end of the entire working collaboration, when we are delivering our final images to our client, edited and refined, they're not asking us for raw images, because they already understand why we don't do that. And if they want extra images, they already understand that we will be editing those and they will have to pay for those services. So setting up those ground rules is key to making sure that your client stays within the bounds of your boundaries. Now, if you do not set things up like that, your clients will eventually ask you and maybe even try to pressure you into giving them the raw images. And it's up to you to stand your ground and let them know, hey, we don't give out raw images. We can give you a rate for purchasing extra images. If you're interested in purchasing more images, we can have another discussion, but we do not give out raw images. Now, we have given you the executed amount of images that you initially requested, but if you're interested in purchasing more images, they are available. You just have to make that selection, let us know, so that we can again send you the invoice for those services, so we can edit them and refine them and send them back to you. You have to have that process fully thought out and fully fleshed out, so that if a client does approach you with that kind of request, you automatically know what to say. You can respond to them within a timely manner that's personable and polite. Now, there are a few people in my DMs that hit me up that are well past that point, because they never set up that process to begin with. And so they were pretty much facing having to maybe give in to giving the client what they want. And so my advice to them was, since you already said I can give you a few images, honor that. Say, hey, I can give you 1 or 2 raw images, and that's all we can do, because typically we don't do this, but you still need to reinforce this is not something that you do. Now, if you're just now starting out in photography and you're afraid to be mean or to set boundaries because you don't want to ruin your referrals, that's not a way to go. You never want to build up your business on weak boundaries, because whatever service that you put out there, it's going to be used to describe your services. So if you're known for giving out extra free work, then the people that you work with are going to tell their friends, their family, their coworkers, oh, hire this person because they'll do the work for you, but they'll also give you extra images if you just ask. And you're going to find it more difficult to kind of get out of that reputation. So nip that in the bud from the very beginning and let that initial client know, hey, we don't typically do this, but I'll go ahead and give you 1 or 2 because I already mentioned that I'll give you that. But just so you know, this is not something that we do. Now, if your client wants, let's say, 15 to 20 to 30 images, raw images at that, outside of the scope of the package that you already delivered, then you can have another discussion, because they're basically asking you for another whole package without paying for it. And again, it doesn't matter where you are in the space of your collaboration, whether you've had a signed contract or not. If you've already delivered on the work that you promised to deliver and they're asking for more, then they should expect to have to pay more. And it's up to you to really lay down that boundary and say, this is how I do business. I'm appreciative that you love my work. Thank you so much for working with me. But this is what I will require in order to hand over these images. And also, I don't give out raw images. So if we were to give you these images, we would have had to process those images through editing and refinement, which means that you'd have to pay for those services. It takes some time to really figure out your speech or your script when, to say to clients. And what I would advise, which is pretty much what a lot of people are doing nowadays to really refine their business, is write out roughly what you want to say and then input that into ChatGPT and say, hey, can you refine this email? Now, I have to do that when I don't have friends to help me to proofread my emails, because I can be very direct in some emails. So I do use a little bit of AI to help refine and soften what I'm trying to convey, to make it a little bit more personable. And so you can go ahead and write out a script, say, hey, I don't give out raw images. This is not the way my company does business, blah, blah, blah. You can write out a whole thing and then input that in there and say, hey, Can you make this a little bit more professional, more personable? I'm trying to get my client to understand that this is not something that I do, but I will honor it because I already offered it in the beginning. And then that will start to help you create some type of script that you can have by your side and memorize, so that if another client does ask you for raw images, you already know how to nip that in the bud and also keep it personable so that you can maintain a good working relationship. Okay, y'all, so that's all I have to say for today. Again, I told you it was going to be a short one, and I did not lie about that. I truly hope that this information helps any of you newbies out there that are just now getting into photography. Whether you have come across this issue in the past or have yet to come across this issue, I hope that you find this video useful and that you save it just for the possibility of this issue coming up. Again, it's all about you getting comfortable in the space of being an entrepreneur, but also getting comfortable with building up your business, creating processes, creating boundaries, making sure that you leave no stone unturned when it comes to really pushing your business, marketing it, but also letting people know how you work together. Now, if you're new into the world of product photography, especially running a business in product photography, and you want to learn more about the business side, check out this playlist right here. This is all of my videos thus far talking about my own process, how I built up my business, and the steps that I take whenever it comes to communicating with clients, pitching emails, creating processes, basically creating a positive client experience all around. So definitely check those videos out if you want to learn more about the business of photography. Now, if you're looking for more one-on-one help, I do offer consultations. Just check the description below. My consultations span across branding, the business of photography, as well as prop styling. So definitely check out the link below if that's something that you're interested in. Now, y'all, if y'all like this video, please like this video. Please subscribe. We are small, but we are growing. I have more videos coming up soon, and I'm so excited to share. Now, if you're looking for more behind the scenes photography on lighting, gear, prop styling, all of that, check out this playlist. This is where all the creative magic happens, and I'll be adding more videos to that collection soon. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye.